Yeah, sure, Mike. To be honest, I'm struggling to work out how you lost that game because it did feel like you had it won on multiple occasions. How are you trying to process everything that just happened?
Yeah, I probably feel the same way, to be honest with you. I thought we had control of the game, the majority of that contest, and probably had it won multiple times. Unfortunately, didn't make a play at the end, right? I thought that for the majority of the game, we executed kind of, what we wanted to do. We knew the energy, we knew the pace, we knew they were going to keep coming. We had some possessions probably in the fourth where we didn't quite get clean looks, didn't get into things, and then our inefficiency on offense unfortunately led to some runouts and some threes in transition. And I thought our guys, once they made their run, I thought we hung in there and tried to make some plays to win the game. And obviously came up just a little short, and give them credit.
Yeah, I agree with your feelings about it because, I mean, just over a minute ago, you're up 7. I mean, is it a tough one to process? I mean, is this a tough one to try to get over just because you know what's on the line every game you play, and you did seem to have it won, like we said, on multiple occasions?
Yeah, I mean, it just happened. So I'm trying to think through the plays and, kind of what happened down the stretch a little bit, to be honest with you. But, I just felt like we didn't get a bunch of clean looks. They start double teaming the basketball a little bit, which they should have done with KD. And, then you got to make some plays, and it's got to be earlier in the shot clock. And then, defensively is what's always going to win the game. I thought we did. We didn't probably start out the game with the edge that we've had the last couple, but we found our rhythm in that second quarter, and I think we won the quarter, maybe 31-11 or so, and, really had still established ourselves in the third, and, down the stretch, it was probably our offense probably hurt our defense a little bit there, and, getting some clean looks and being able to execute on the road is part of it. And winning big road games, this crowd is tremendous here. It's loud, trying to be organized to get guys into position. Our group really, really fought. They were together down the stretch, and unfortunately we didn't make a couple of plays.
Is it frustrating on a game where you've got a clear size advantage, and there were times where Isaac and Montrez, took advantage of that, but you end up losing the rebound count. They end up with 17 offensive rebounds, and they win the game on an offensive rebound. Is that frustrating?
Well, yeah, I think we have 3 of the best bigs in the game. That they kind of took the size out of the game. The game is played differently these days. The 3-point line is a difference maker, right? We were 9 of 30, they were 14 of 37. I think we were even across the board in some of those other things. 8 turnovers, 24 assists, 26 assists. But those 17 offensive rebounds, 10 of those were in the second half. 2 of them were on that last possession in overtime, right? So yeah, you got to close possessions. It's always going to be defense. You're going to make and miss shots, and unfortunately, this is a painful one, and all we can do is sort of learn from it in the moment really quickly. We got a quick turnaround to get home, and we have a really big game against Illawarra now, right? I think we've talked about our margin of error is thin and slim, and when these things slip through your grasp, you feel it a little bit more, and we've got to go home, and we've got to take care of home court advantage on Monday night.
This won't make it any easier for you to accept, but for 4 years now, we've seen this JackJumpers team find ways to win from positions you don't expect them to be able to win from, and to win games you don't expect them to win. I mean, from your point of view, being on the wrong end of it now, what makes them so hard to put away? Well,
I think Scott does a great job with a system. They have a system. You know how they're going to play. You're going to know what they do. Their team has a rhythm, and players know their role. We're in a completely different position in year one, how we've kind of manufactured this thing and the things we've gone through. And, all of a sudden they've got a couple guys out, but they have a system, and you give them credit for the system, and guys were plugged in and made some shots, and you kind of knew who was going to be on the floor late. and you needed to get some stops and some rebounds, and unfortunately we didn't make the plays and they did, so give them credit.
I know it's tough to talk about it after a loss, but KD was incredible again for you. What did you make of his performance?
Well, he's a shot maker. He's a warrior. He loves to compete. He loves the game of basketball, and he's a handful and he's hard to guard. And they start putting guys around him too, and trying to put him in a crowd, and he finds a way at times. And we just got to keep complimenting him and spacing the floor. And you asked me about, we have a bunch of different weapons offensively and how the game goes and the rhythm of the game. And obviously KD had his thumbprint, his fingerprints all over this one. But we needed to make a defensive play for the win.
Like you said, this loss hurts, but at the same time, out of the 45 minutes, you probably outplayed them for 35 of it, so at least. So you did a lot of things right. So how do you get that balance right when you now reflect on it and now get ready, like you said, for a big game on Monday?
Yeah, well, the quick turnaround, I hope, is a really big positive for us. We have a bunch of games coming here quickly. They're all important. They should have our full attention. You've got to just sort of refocus. This one hurts in the moment, and we'll kind of get back there. We'll look at some of those things, and then do our prep and move forward, and try to get ready to play a really good Illawarra team at home that we've had some success against. So we know that we'll get their full effort.
I was going to ask you that next. You have done well against them twice already this season. What have you done well in those first two games? And are you expecting them to come in on the back of that, extra motivated come Monday night?
Well, they are an elite team. They've had the best rhythm from start to finish of any team in this league this year. They've got scoring and they got size and they've got defense. So they've got a lot of different things. I don't know. Maybe we just played them at the right time at certain times. I'm not really sure how to answer that one at the moment. I have a ton of respect for them and Coach Tatum and what they try to do, and we'll go home and try to use our home crowd and the Adelaide crowd, and just try to take care of home court advantage and get a win there at home, and then we'll worry about the next one and try to regroup and learn what we can, and it's always about teaching and correcting, and we did. I'm sitting here thinking, dang. We did play well for a long time of that game, but you gotta make the plays down the stretch, and we didn't do that.
No, for sure. Last one from me. I probably know your answer to this because you generally answer these questions the same way, but do you expect Sunday to be a chance to come back on Monday night? Is he any chance?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be ready yet. He's trying. Hamstrings are it's tricky, right? They're a hard one, but he's working his tail off. You guys know what a professional he is, and he wants to get out there and be with his teammates as hard as anybody. But we want to make sure that when he gets out there that he's, he can really help us.
No worries. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mikey. Anyone else in the call throwing it over to you guys? I think we're good, Mike.
Okay, thank you.